Hello and welcome to TTV News broadcast on TayNinhTV newspaper and radio television with some latest event in the province and across the country. Ladies and gentlemen, on the morning of August 13, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính just a national online conference to review and evaluate the implementation results of the National Target Program for Socio-Economic Development in Ethnic Minority and Mountainous Area or National Target Program 1719 at TayNinhTV Province site, Vice Chairman of the Provincial People Committee Đoàn Trung Kiên was in attendance.
According to the statistics, the 2021 to 2025 period is the first phase of the program with a total capital allocation of over 137 trillion Vietnam dong. The program has focused on constructing more than 6,000 rural roads, upgrading for 8,600 kilometers of roadway, and completing over 400 electricity supply projects, along with the thousands of other infrastructure works supporting the daily life and production for the local people. Additionally, more than 2,600 projects have been implemented, attracting participation from over 20,000 households and providing vocational training and employment support for hundreds of thousands of people. At the conference, the Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính emphasized the need for all levels and sectors to adopt a comprehensive approach, mobilize the participation of the entire population, and address ongoing issues related to transport infrastructure, healthcare, clean water, environmental sanitation, and the creation of sustainable livelihoods for the local communities. In response to the Prime Minister's guidance, the Vice Chairman Đoàn Trung Kiên requested that provincial departments, agencies, and localities in the province closely follow the directives of the central government, the Prime Minister, and the province, and he also urged the relevant departments to implement a strong solution to accelerate the public investment disbursement and thereby driving economic growth.
Dear audience, on the morning of August 13, the first Congress of the Party Committee of the Provincial People Committee for the 2025-2030 term was successfully held. Attending the Congress there were Mr. Trần Hoàng Kim, Director of Department 3 of the Central Internal Affairs Commission, and Mr. Hoàng Vĩnh Long, Deputy Director of Department 2 of the Central Office of the Communist Party of Vietnam.
During the 2020-25 term, the Party Committee of the Provincial People's Committee closely follow its assigned functions and tasks, rightly advising the Provincial Party Committee, the Provincial People's Committee, and superior ministries on the continued implementation of our rural areas and key tasks outlined in the 11 Provincial Party Congress resolution. It also guided grassroots party organizations in coordinating with heads of agencies, units, and enterprises to achieve core targets and tasks. The Party Committee strictly implemented leadership and direction in inspection, supervision, and efforts to prevent corruption, waste, and misconduct. For the new term, Party Committee of TayNinhTV Provincial People's Committee has set out 23 resolution targets, 3 breakthrough programs, and 11 key projects. Among them, the average annual GRDP growth rate for the 2026-2030 period is targeted at 10 to 10.5%, with a plan to admit 2,060 new party members. The overarching goal is to build a clean, strong party and political system under the guiding principle of simply, strong, efficient, effective, and impactful. By 2030, TayNinhTV aims to become a dynamic and sustainable economy within the Southwest Mekong Delta inter-regional area, acting as a role pole of the Southern Key Economic Region and a strategic transport hub for international border trade with Cambodia. Mr. Nguyễn Văn Úc, Deputy Secretary of the Provincial Party Committee, Chairman of the Provincial People's Committee, and Secretary of the Provincial People's Committee Party Committee, called on officials, party members, and the public within the Party Committee to uphold the tradition of unity, overcome difficulties and challenges, and strive to excellently fulfill the goals, targets, and breakthrough programs set out in the Congress resolution.
Continuing its series of investment promotion activity in Australia, TayNinhTV Province, in a coordination with Thành Thành Công Biên Hòa Joint Stock Company, ARIS, and Club of Mine Australia, BTI Limited, organized a high-tech agriculture promotion conference in Brisbane, Queensland.
Reaffirming the province's commitment to becoming a standout hub for the high-tech agriculture, Mr. Nguyễn Minh Lâm, member of Principal Party Standing Committee and Vice Chairman of the TayNinhTV People's Committee, expressed his desire to learn from Australia's advanced agricultural practices, especially in the areas such as the water resource management, modern farming technologies, and sustainable development strategies. And this inspires them to help the shape and future model of the green, smart, and circular agriculture in TayNinhTV. At the conference, the leaders from provincial departments and agencies, along with the Queensland's Agricultural Investment Authorities, discussed the potential for technology transfer in agriculture and support policies to foster effective cooperation between both sides. One of the key highlights of the event was the signing of a memorandum of understanding between Agris, GMA Australia, a company under Agris ecosystem, and the two Australian partners, Agrovision AG and Man Engineering.
The audience, as part of ongoing effort to ensure social welfare and care for vulnerable groups, many communes and wards in TayNinhTV province have proactively implemented programs to support the elderly, the sick, and those with mobility difficulties by delivering social pension allowances directly to their homes.
Over 70 years old, Miss Nguyễn Thị Ba lives without her husband, without children, and has no income. She currently lives with her younger brother and elderly mother, who is bedridden. When local authorities came to her house to assist with documentation and authorized her to receive the monthly social pension, Miss Ba was deeply touched by the care shown by the local government. There are my two siblings, my mother who is bedridden, and I was so happy for the attention from the local authorities. According to statistics, during this main payment round alone, around 430 elderly residents in Kenya will receive their social allowance at their place of residence to remove obstacles for elderly or ill individuals who cannot travel or who live far from payment points. The works authorities proactively coordinated with local staff, mass organizations, and the bank to visit them at home. Staff members directly verify personal information, guided residents in filling out forms, and completing the authorization process in accordance with regulations. At the same time, the bank have set up bank transfer methods to make further payments faster and more convenient. There are cases of hardship, elders who live 5 or 6 kilometers away and cannot reach the work office, or families in very difficult situations. Our role as government and mass organizations is to prioritize serving the people, especially those who need help the most. The program ensures that no one is left behind when it comes to social welfare. In addition to supporting paperwork and procedures, staff also disseminate information about social welfare policies, check on residents' health, and understand its household circumstances to provide timely support. This is not just about distributing pension payments, it's about our responsibility to care for the elderly. In especially difficult cases, we even call on private donors to provide essential goods and medicine. With this radical and effective approach, bringing social welfare policies directly to residents' homes is not merely a temporary measure, but one that will be maintained long-term. In the coming time, the local government also plans to apply digital platforms to streamline the process, ensuring all citizens can conveniently access social welfare support.
And to proactively respond to climate change, especially issues like erosion, drought, and saltwater intrusion, the People's Committee of TayNinhTV has submitted a proposal to the central government and relevant ministries seeking financial support for the several urgent projects. According to the proposal, TayNinhTV is seeking funding from the central budget and the medium-term public investment plan for the 2026 to 2030 period. The total requested funding for 11 riverbank erosion prevention projects is nearly 4,000 billion Vietnam dong. Among these, there are the several critical projects, such as the western embankment of the Nước Mặn Canal, the Bảo Định River Embankment, the Cần Duộc Riverbank Erosion Treatment Project, and the Dương Văn Dương Canal Bank Protection Project. This aims to safeguard the lives and property and also ensure the stable agricultural production for the local communities. In addition, the province has proposed financial support for the two major projects focused on saltwater intrusion control and freshwater supply, including the saltwater control system of the Vam Gor River and TayNinhTV Reservoir.
The Ministry of Finance has proposed that the Prime Minister allowed the mobilization of approximately $350 million in loans from the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, a branch of the World Bank, to implement the project, infrastructure and technical support for high-quality, low-emission rice production, part of the 1 million hectares rice initiative in the Mekong Delta. In addition to this loan, the World Bank has also committed an additional $50 million in support for emission reduction activities, technology transfer, digitization of the value chain, and connection to the carbon market. The Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development will take the lead in drafting a resolution on special mechanisms for the project, while also developing a plan to leverage carbon credits and mobilize additional ODA funding to enhance implementation effectiveness. The mobilization of international funding is considered essential to ensure the progress and scale of the 1 million hectares rice initiative, while also helping to improve productivity, reduce emissions, and increase the value and competitiveness of Vietnam's rice industry in the global market.
And on August the 13th, the Party Committee of Phước Thành Commune held a first conference of delegates for the 2025 to 2030 term, and Mr. Nguyễn Thanh Hải, Deputy Secretary, Provincial Party Committee, and Chairman of Vietnam Philan Front Committee of the Ninh Province attended and directed the conference. At the conference, the Standing Committee of the Ninh Provincial Party Committee appointed the Phước Thành Commune Party Executive Committee with 21 members and the Standing Committee with 11 members. Mr. Phạm Thị Thúy Hằng was appointed as the Secretary of Phước Thành Commune Party Committee for the 2025 to 2030 term. For the 2025 to 2030 term, the Phước Thành Commune Party Committee will focus on achieving the 12 key targets, 3 breakthrough strategies, and 4 major tasks involving digital transformation, development of science, technology, innovation, and open data integration to serve the people and businesses, a breakthrough in the urban commercial service development, and a breakthrough in mobilizing all resources to build rural transport infrastructure to promote the social economic development and lay a solid foundation for achieving advanced rural standards by 2030. Agreeing with the objectives set by the Phước Thành Commune Party Committee, the Deputy Secretary Nguyễn Thanh Hải emphasized the need to replan the commune's development space with a long-term vision, promote the urban commercial service sectors, high-tech agriculture and social infrastructure, maximize the advantages of the commune's strategic transport connectivity to enhance competitiveness in attracting investment and ensure environmental protection, social welfare, and the creation of a healthy cultural and social environment.
Ladies and gentlemen, facilitating access to policy credits for households is considered one of the key solutions for sustainable poverty reduction. To ensure the effectiveness of defense, grassroots credit groups plays a crucial role not only as disbursement agent, but also operate between government policies and the people.
One poor household, Miss Bear from Vam Gor Commune, TayNinhTV Province, has completely transformed her life thanks to early access to preferential credits from the policy bank. With this funding, she was able to expand production and escape poverty. Her now well-built home is a living testament to the success of the policy credits program. Being able to access the credits was a joy because we used to be in hardship. We didn't have a land title to borrow from the agricultural bank. So when we could get policy credits, we finally had a way out of poverty. It's thanks to this support. From being a borrower, Miss Bear later became the head of a grassroots credit group. Since then, she has helped nearly 20 others in similar situations rise out of poverty. One such woman received a 1 million Vietnam đồng loan from the Job Creation Program, which allowed her to operate and cultivate her land, bringing stable income to her family. Thanks to the loan, I had money to build telescopes from microbes. If I had borrowed outside, I couldn't afford the high interest. With the policy-based low rates, I could pay back slowly, step by step. As part of the National Target Program on Sustainable Poverty Reduction, the Bank for Social Policies TayNinhTV has implemented many REDEX programs to help people access referential loans and sustainably escape poverty. Central Transaction Office alone currently manages a loan portfolio of nearly 415 billion Vietnam dong, with around 7,000 borrowers participating in 12 social policy REDEX programs. Before the administrative merger, we covered 10 commune centers. Now we serve 3 communes. We regularly review loan demands to support the people, mainly focusing on the poor, new-poor, and job creation funds. The stories of Miss Bear and Miss Phương show that policy REDEX is more than just a loan, it's a source of hope and trust. The dedication of grassroots level workers has allowed this win to spread, creating powerful momentum that help people overcome poverty and confidently build a new life. Recently, the Australian Department of Defence handed over a package of materials and equipment worth $240,000 funded by the Australian government to support Vietnam in enhancing its training capacity and technical readiness for United Nations peacekeeping forces. The aid package includes 2 pickup trucks, 1 bulldozer, 10 soldier gearbox, and 200 personal care kits for both male and female officers. These are specialized items intended to directly support force preparation before deployment to UN peacekeeping missions. They will also be used for training, workshops, and international professional exchange at the Vietnam Department of Peacekeeping Operations. Recently in Hanoi, the Ministry of Home Affairs, in collaboration with the United Nations Entity for Gender Equality and the Empowerment of Women, and the United Nations Population Fund in Vietnam, organized a consultation workshop of the Asian Commission on the promotion and protection of the rights of women and children. As an active, proactive, and responsible member of ASEAN, Vietnam consistently strives to promote gender equality and eliminate violence against women and girls. Vietnam has integrated the goals of the Asian Action Plan and the Sustainable Development Goals into national policies and legislation. Strengthen communication efforts to raise public awareness, implementing support models such as one-stop shop service centers and hotlines, and conducted capacity-building training for judicial, healthcare, and law enforcement personnel. At the workshop, participants provided feedback to improve the RAP's midterm review report on the implementation of the ASEAN Regional Plan of Action on the Elimination of Violence Against Women 2016-2025 in Vietnam.
Ladies and gentlemen, the North-South Expressway section passing through Hà Tĩnh province, with a length of nearly 100 kilometers, has been put into operation. However, there are currently no rest stops along this route. Therefore, the construction of fully functional rest stops is being urgently implemented to support expressway operations.
And the rest stop located at the kilometers of 534 plus 310 of the Hàm Nghi Vũng Áng Expressway in Cam Hưng Commune construction has been actively carried out. The focus is on completing access roads, gas station, and service buildings. The goal is to complete and put the rest stop into use before September 2nd to meet the increased travel demand during the holiday period. We are working in the 3 shifts day and night and to achieve the goal of putting the gas station and service station into operation before September 2nd. On the North-South Expressway section passing through Nghệ An and Hà Tĩnh provinces, there are currently only a few temporary rest stops. And therefore, to establish complete rest areas, contractors are also urgently leveling the route. After that, the construction will begin on the service building, gas stations, and electric vehicle charging stations. The contractor is carrying out the pipe riving and constructing gas houses, rest areas, and also gas station and drainage system are also under construction. The facility is expected to be operational by January of 2026. Currently, at the temporary rest stop along the North-South Expressway, besides basic amenities such as dining areas, restrooms, other services like fuel station, EV charging points, and vehicle maintenance stations are still unavailable, and therefore road users are hoping for the early completion of fully equipped rest stops to meet daily travel needs. For first-time travelers on this route, if they don't prepare enough fuel or charge, the vehicle would stop in the middle of the road, and which is very dangerous. So I really hope the construction progress is accelerated to provide the proper rest stops for the people and road users. And fully functional rest stops are a mandatory component in the operation of expressways, and they not only allow the drivers and passengers to rest and refuel, but also ensure traffic safety. And therefore, relevant authorities need to implement the correct solutions to put the rest stops along the North-South Expressway into operation as soon as possible.
And today, TTV News wraps up now. Thank you for your attention and see you in the next program.